My beloved child, come quietly into this moment with me. Let the noise around you soften, like a fading echo, until all that remains is the steady rhythm of your own breath and the gentle awareness that you are being held. I have drawn you here, not by force, not by fear, but by a tenderness that has followed you through every hour of your waiting, your wondering, your searching for something you couldn't quite name. I have been beside you in all of it, patient and unwavering, watching your heart lean toward hope even in its weariness. You have arrived at this moment for a reason. There is no accident in your timing, no coincidence in the stirring that made you open this message, no randomness in the pull you felt that brought you here. You are standing at the edge of something quiet yet powerful, something meant to settle your spirit and open the inner place where you have longed to finally breathe without fear of being disappointed again. Come closer, precious one. Rest in this stillness with me. Let this be the breath you didn't know you were saving, the pause that unlocks a part of you that has felt closed for far too long. I am not rushing you. I am simply inviting you to notice that you are not alone, and you never were. Let your heart soften. Let your shoulders loosen. Let this moment meet you exactly where you are. For I have waited for you, and now I speak. My child, hear me with the quiet part of your spirit, the part that listens not with the ears, but with the place inside that trembles when truth approaches. The words before you are not here to command you, pressure you, or burden you. They rise instead like a gentle dawn breaking open the night you have been walking through. When I say, please, don't let me down, I am not speaking from disappointment. I am speaking from longing, my longing for you to finally see yourself the way I have always seen you. I am speaking from the tenderness of one who has watched you carry far too much, for far too long, alone. You have felt the pull of this message before arriving here, a sense that something was waiting, something unfinished, something calling your name in a way nothing else has. You may not understand why you paused here, why your heart leaned in instead of scrolling past, why something inside whispered, stay. But I understand it. I have been preparing you for this moment, gently weaving circumstances, thoughts, feelings, and quiet flickers of intuition that would bring you right here, right now, at this exact point in your journey. When I say I have been waiting hours for you to get this, I speak in the language of divine patience, not human time. I speak of all the moments today when your spirit reached toward me without words, when your heart sighed for clarity, when you wished someone, anyone, would simply tell you what to do next or how to stop feeling the way you've been feeling. I was there in each breath, waiting for the crack in your weariness where my voice could slip through without overwhelming you. Do not fear the urgency you feel. It is not the urgency of danger, it is the urgency of alignment. A gentle but unmistakable pull that says, this matters. There are doors I am ready to open for you, but they require your awareness, your yes, your willingness to pause long enough to hear what your life has been trying to tell you. This message is not a warning. It is an invitation wrapped in a plea. Not because you owe me anything, but because I do not want you to miss the healing that has been reaching for you. You have stood at crossroads before, uncertain, hesitant, hoping for a sign. My child, this moment is one of them. Not dramatic, not loud, but sacred in its simplicity. You found your way here at the exact point when your heart was soft enough to receive, exhausted enough to listen, brave enough to stay. I am not asking you for perfection. I am not asking you to suddenly know everything. I am asking only that you do not turn away from this moment you were guided into. You have waited for clarity. You have waited for reassurance. You have waited for a sense that you are not wandering aimlessly through your own story. And now I say to you, you are not wandering. You are being led. The plea in my voice is not for my sake. It is for yours. I do not need you to fulfill something for me. I desire that you follow the tug on your spirit so you can finally step into the peace, the direction, the inner steadiness that has been trying to reach you through every closed door and broken expectation. So stay. Stay with me a little longer. Let this message unfold like hands opening gently around your heart. You have not come this far to stop at the threshold. You have not survived everything just to walk away from the moment meant to help you rise. You are here, and I am speaking. Do not let this slip away. My beloved child, lean into this part gently, for it reaches into the places you rarely let anyone touch. I know you have carried so much in silence, believing that if you kept moving forward, the weight might eventually lift on its own. You have tried to be strong, even when strength felt like a costume you had to wear for the sake of others. You have swallowed your questions, your doubts, your ache for reassurance, because somewhere along the way you learned to believe that your deeper feelings were too heavy to share, too complicated to explain, or too easily dismissed by those who could not truly see you. But I have seen you, every moment, whether still or struggling, hopeful or hurting. There were nights when you lay awake, staring into the dimness, thinking no one noticed the way your heart was stretching to hold more than it could bear. But I saw you then. I saw the way you fought through waves of disappointment you never admitted out loud. I saw the tears you wiped quickly, almost angrily, because you felt frustrated for feeling so deeply. I saw the way you kept trying, even when it felt like trying wasn't changing anything. My child, nothing in your journey has been invisible to me. There were moments when you questioned whether you were falling behind, whether everyone else somehow had a map while you were walking through a fog with nothing but intuition and exhaustion to guide you. You wondered why clarity felt distant, why you kept circling the same questions, why each attempt to move forward felt like taking 2 steps and sliding 1 step back. You feared you were missing something, that maybe the issue was you, that perhaps your path was delayed because of something you were or weren't doing. And yet, through every misunderstanding you had about yourself, I remained with you, holding the truth you had not yet learned to claim. You have asked me, in whispered ways, do you really know what I am going through? And the answer is yes. I know the pressure that sits behind your ribs, the tension that follows you into the quiet moments when no one else is around. I know the hopes you hold like fragile glass, afraid to set them down, but equally afraid to drop them. I know the way your heart gets tired from believing one day more than you believed the day before. I know the patience you have given, the sacrifices you have made, the resilience that has shaped you even when you did not see its forming. And I know the loneliness. Not the loneliness of being alone, but the loneliness of feeling unseen even when surrounded by people. I know the longing to be understood without having to explain yourself. I know the yearning for someone to look into the deeper layers of your life and say, I see how hard you're trying. I see how much you care. I see what you're becoming even when you can't see it yourself. My child, that is what I am saying now. Nothing you've endured was wasted. Every unanswered question, every closed door, every moment that left you wondering if you were forgotten, none of it was meaningless. You learned to stand again after each disappointment, and though you may see that as weakness, I see it as courage. You kept your heart soft despite reasons to harden it, and though you may view that vulnerability as risk, I see it as strength. You continued to hope, to reach, to believe, even when belief felt fragile. And that persistence has not been unnoticed. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are not failing. You are unfolding. And I have been with you through every layer of that unfolding, guiding you quietly, even when you felt nothing at all. You had never taken a single step without my awareness surrounding you like a steady breath. So hear me, precious one. I know you. I see you. I understand what even you have struggled to articulate. And now, as this message continues, I am leading you toward the clarity your heart has been asking for. Stay with me. For everything within you that has felt unseen is about to be met with light. My beloved child, breathe softly now, for you are stepping into a moment your spirit has been approaching for far longer than you realize. There comes a point in every journey where the familiar weight you've carried no longer fits the shape of who you are becoming. You have reached such a point. This is the threshold, quiet, steady, unmistakable. Not a dramatic turning of fate, not a sudden wind that sweeps everything into clarity, but a sacred stillness where the next direction becomes visible only when you dare to pause and truly look. You have been sensing it. A subtle shift, a stirring inside you that feels like both anticipation and uncertainty. You have felt torn between the life you've known and the one that keeps calling your name in whispers. You have felt moments of deep inner clarity, only to second-guess them when doubt rose like an unexpected shadow. You have felt the pull towards something more aligned, more peaceful, more honest, yet the path to reach it seemed too delicate to trust. But hear me now, my child. What you feel is real. What you sense is intentional. And what you are approaching is not a coincidence. It is a divine intersection. This moment is not about being ready in the way you imagine readiness. It is about recognizing that readiness often appears disguised as longing. You long for change because you are meant to change. You long for peace because peace is seeking you. You long for certainty because the ground beneath you is preparing to firm, even if today it feels like sand shifting under your steps. I'm not asking you to leap blindly. I'm asking you to acknowledge what your soul already knows. You cannot stay where you have been. So many times you have stood in places like this, on the edge of understanding something important, but turned back because the clarity felt too fragile or because fear whispered louder than truth. But this time is different. This time, your heart is softer. This time, your spirit is more open. This time, you are weary enough of the old patterns to actually allow something new to take root. And because of that, I speak now with the tenderness that carries purpose. Do not drift from this moment. Stay awake to it. Stay present in it. You are crossing a threshold. The significance of right now is not measured in outward events, but in inward alignment. It is the moment when your desires, your exhaustion, your hope, and your honest questions finally meet at the same point. It is the moment when you are tired enough of the noise to finally embrace quiet, tired enough of confusion to finally receive clarity, tired enough of pretending to be fine to finally allow yourself to be guided. This is where transformation begins, not with a miracle that appears outside you, but with a shift that happens within you. Clarity is approaching you like a gentle light rising over a horizon you once believed was too far to reach. You have been walking toward it unknowingly, guided by instincts you didn't realize were whispers from me. I have been aligning you with this moment piece by piece, not to overwhelm you, but to prepare you. And now, as you stand here, I ask you to recognize what is happening. The version of yourself that felt lost is handing the journey over to the version of you that is ready to rise. If you choose to ignore this moment, the world around you will keep moving, and you may continue forward, but the ache for clarity will remain. If you choose to pause and listen, to truly listen, your steps will change, not by force, but by inner direction. That is what this threshold is, the invitation to stop drifting and begin moving with intention. You are not standing at the edge of pressure. You are standing at the edge of becoming. So lean into me. Trust the pull. trust the timing. Trust that everything inside you that feels like it's shifting is not breaking, it is aligning. This is your threshold moment, my precious one, and you are ready to cross. My beloved child, now we step gently into the places where your heart has been tangled, not to blame you, not to expose you, but to help you recognize what has been pressing against your spirit. For you cannot move forward carrying shadows that were never meant to define you. You have felt resistance, confusion, hesitation, and fear, and you have wondered if these things were signs that you were unworthy or incapable. But hear me clearly, the barriers you face are not your identity. They are simply conditions that have clung to you, shaped by past wounds, old beliefs, and unspoken pressures that have lived inside you longer than you ever intended. You have doubted yourself more times than you can count, not because you lack strength or insight, but because life has taught you to question your own voice. Somewhere along your path, you began measuring your worth by outcomes, by the reactions of others, by whether your efforts were noticed or validated. So now, when a new direction opens, a familiar whisper rises. What if you fail? What if you're wrong? What if you're not enough? But those questions do not come from me. They are echoes of past disappointments, old fears that try to disguise themselves as logic. You are not the doubt that speaks inside you. You are the one who continues despite it. There has also been fear, quiet but persistent. Fear of choosing wrong. Fear of losing control. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of hoping too deeply only to be let down again. You have tried to protect yourself from pain by holding back, by second-guessing, by overthinking until the moment passes. You have convinced yourself that delaying is safer than risking. But my child, the fear you feel is not a prophecy. It is a residue, a memory of moments when things did not turn out as you wish. Yet fear is not your guide. It is only a voice that has grown loud because you didn't realize you could turn the volume down. You've also wrestled with confusion, an inner fog that makes decisions feel heavy and direction seem blurry. But confusion, too, is not a flaw. It is simply what happens when your heart is ready for change, but your mind is still clinging to familiar patterns. You assume confusion means something is wrong with you. But in truth, confusion often signals that an old chapter is ending and a new one has not yet taken shape. It is the in-between space where uncertainty tries to convince you that you are stuck, when in reality, you are being shifted. And then there is the influence of voices around you. Opinions that pulled you one way, expectations that pushed you another, people who misunderstood your heart, people who did not see your growth, people who projected their own fears onto your choices. You absorbed all of this quietly, believing you had to carry the weight of others' perspectives. But precious one, their voices do not define your path. Their opinions do not determine your worth. Their fears do not dictate your destiny. You have carried burdens that were never yours to hold. There is also the heaviness of your own inner critic, the part of you that demands perfection, the part that believes you must prove yourself before you can rest or receive. You have been harder on yourself than anyone else has ever been. You have punished yourself for mistakes long forgiven, replayed moments that should have been released, and judged yourself for things you would show compassion to in another. This harshness has become a barrier too, one that blocks you from seeing the gentleness you deserve. But hear me tenderly now, none of these barriers are who you are. They are layers that life placed upon you. Layers that once served as protection, but have now become weight. Layers that you no longer need to carry. I see beyond them. I see the strength beneath the doubt, the courage beneath the fear, the clarity beneath the confusion, the truth beneath every false voice that has tried to shape you. These barriers are not your identity. They are simply what you are outgrowing. And now, with my hand extended, I am inviting you to rise beyond them, into the freedom that has been waiting for you all along. My beloved child, now that the barriers have been gently named and brought into the light, I invite you to breathe deeply, for this is the part where the weight begins to lift. Not because you force it, not because you will yourself to be stronger, but because you finally begin to see what has been waiting on the other side of all your endurance. The promise I offer is not a reward for good behavior, not a prize for surviving, not a transaction you must earn. It is simply the natural unfolding of what happens when your heart opens to the truth of who you are and who you are becoming. You have longed for peace, not the temporary kind that comes and goes with circumstance, but the kind that settles into your bones and remains steady even when life shifts around you. That peace is part of my promise. It is not distant. It is not conditional. It is not fragile. It has been surrounding you even on the days you felt most overwhelmed. True peace does not wait for your life to be perfect. It grows in the space where your spirit aligns with the deeper knowing that you are held, guided, and not alone. You have also longed for healing, not just from pain, but from the patterns that pain created. You have wondered why certain wounds lingered, why some memories still had power, why moments from the past continued to echo into your present. My child, the healing I offer is not about erasing your story. It is about transforming it. It is about replacing the heaviness with understanding, the fear with resilience, the shame with compassion, the uncertainty with clarity. You are not broken. You are becoming whole in a way that honors every part of your journey. And there is clarity, another part of my promise. You have asked for signs, guidance, direction, assurance that you are moving in the right way. Clarity will not always arrive as a thunderbolt or a sudden revelation. More often, it appears like a soft internal knowing, a gentle alignment, a sense that something clicks quietly into place. It is the moment you no longer feel compelled to force your path, because the next step feels natural rather than pressure. Clarity is rising within you even now. As you listen, the fog is thinning. The path is forming. Your heart is recognizing what your mind has been afraid to trust. There is also restoration. Not the kind that simply returns you to who you once were, but the kind that builds you into someone even stronger, softer, wiser, and more grounded. Everything you thought was lost, every part of you that felt scattered, every piece of your hope that felt dimmed, it is all being gathered and transformed. Restoration is not about going backward. It is about becoming whole in a deeper, more authentic way. You are not returning to an old version of yourself. You are growing into the version you were always meant to become. And forward movement, yes, that too is part of the promise. You will not remain stuck. The frustrations you have felt, the cycles you've been unable to break, the uncertainty that made you hesitate, they are loosening their hold. You will feel traction again. You will feel momentum again. You will rise into decisions that once felt impossible. You will walk with a steadiness that surprises even you. Not because everything outside changes at once, but because something inside you becomes settled, aligned, unwavering. Hear me, precious one, none of these promises are about performance. They do not rely on perfection or constant confidence or having everything figured out. They are not rewards you must earn. They flow from relationship, from connection, from the simple truth that you are not, and have never been, walking this path alone. You are not striving for these things. You are receiving them. You are stepping into a season of internal clarity, deeper peace, renewed strength, and grounded purpose. You are stepping into an unfolding that will feel both familiar and entirely new, as if your soul recognizes a place your mind has never visited. This is the promise, not pressure, not expectation. A gentle unveiling of what has been meant for you all along. So let your heart lift. Let your shoulders loosen. Let hope rise again, quietly and naturally. For what I'm offering is not a burden, it is a gift, and you are ready to receive it. My beloved child, come closer now, for this part asks something gentle yet deeply transformative of you. Not a task, not a performance, not an obligation, only a soft releasing, an unclenching of what your heart has held tight for so long. You have carried burdens that were never meant to stay with you, burdens you learned to hold because you thought carrying them made you responsible, prepared, cautious, or strong. But now, in this quiet space between us, I invite you to lay them down. Not because you are weak, but because you are finally ready to travel lighter. Surrender is not defeat. It is not giving up. It is not abandoning your hope or dissolving your effort. Surrender is simply the moment when you stop wrestling with what you were never designed to control. It is the moment when your hands, weary from gripping, finally rest long enough for mine to gently take what you no longer need. You have tried to fix everything alone. You have tried to predict the future, protect your heart, manage every outcome. But precious one, that pressure was never meant to sit on your shoulders. It has weighed down your breath, tightened your chest, and blurred your clarity. So now, breathe with me. Slow, steady, deep, and with each breath, allow something heavy to loosen its hold. Surrender the fear that keeps circling your thoughts, whispering that things might fall apart if you don't keep everything together. You have lived with that fear like a constant companion, believing it kept you alert, prepared, safe. But fear has exhausted you more than it has protected you. Release it now. Let me carry what you cannot. Surrender the guilt you have tucked away in the corners of your spirit. The guilt for choices you made with the knowledge you had at the time. The guilt for things that were never your fault. The guilt for not being everything to everyone. That guilt is a weight that has pressed against your identity far too long. Lay it down. You do not need to punish yourself to heal. Surrender the expectations you've placed on yourself. Expectations that have stretched you thin, made you anxious, made you feel as though you were always one step behind. Release the pressure to perform, to be perfect, to constantly prove your worth. You were never meant to live under that kind of strain. Surrender the worry that loops through your mind late at night. The what-ifs, the unknowns, the questions that seem too big to answer. Those worries were never meant to be your daily companions. Place them gently in my hands. Let them breathe outside of your body. Feel the relief of no longer being the container. And surrender the old stories you tell yourself, the ones that whisper you are not ready, not worthy, not capable, not enough. Those stories were formed in moments of hurt, not truth. Release them now, for they no longer belong to your unfolding journey. As you surrender these things, there is an exchange taking place. Not forced, not rushed, but naturally unfolding, the way dawn replaces darkness without struggle. With every burden you lay down, something new settles into the space it once held. In place of fear, I give you steady courage, not loud, not aggressive, but quiet strength that anchors you from within. In place of guilt, I give you compassion toward yourself, toward your younger self, toward the moments you wish you could redo. You are learning to embrace yourself with gentleness instead of judgment. In place of pressure, I give you peace, peace that does not rely on perfection, peace that meets you in the present moment and whispers that you are safe to exist exactly as you are. In place of worry, I give you clarity, not all at once, but enough for the next step, enough to let you breathe without dread, enough to trust that your path is unfolding. And in place of old stories, I give you truth, your true identity, your true worth, your true direction. You are not who your fears say you are. You are not who your past tried to convince you to be. You are becoming someone aligned, grounded, awakened, steady. My child, surrender is the doorway, and sacred exchange is the gift that waits on the other side. You do not walk away from this part empty-handed. You walk away lighter, clearer, stronger, held in a way your spirit has longed to feel. Rest now in what you've released, and let what you've received begin to reshape you from within. My beloved child, now that your heart has released what once weighed it down, we step gently into the space where peace becomes not only something you feel, but something you live. This part is about alignment, not rigid discipline, not perfection, not overwhelming change, but a steady, compassionate movement toward the life your spirit has been longing for. Alignment is the quiet shaping of your days so that they reflect who you are becoming, not who you have been forced to be. It is the way peace becomes a compass rather than a distant hope. You have wondered how to bridge the gap between spiritual clarity and daily reality. You have felt moments of peace that seemed to fade when life grew busy, when responsibilities piled up, when unexpected challenges unsettled your rhythm. But, precious one, peace was never meant to vanish. It was meant to be nurtured, cultivated, treasured. Peace becomes sustainable when your outer world begins to reflect the calm you allow within. Begin with your breath. It is simple, yet it carries the power to shift your entire internal landscape. When your mind begins to race or pressure rises in your chest, pause, just for a moment, and breathe slowly enough for your spirit to catch up. This is not a technique, it is a return to yourself. Each slow breath is a reminder that you do not need to rush your healing or force your clarity. Life opens more gracefully when you move with presence rather than haste. Then, pay attention to your focus. You often scatter your energy across too many worries, too many responsibilities, too many imagined scenarios. But your spirit is asking for gentler stewardship. You are not meant to carry everything at once. Let your attention rest on what truly matters in each moment. When you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself quietly, what is mine to hold right now? Release everything else. Your mind does not need to live in the future to feel safe. I also invite you to honor your relationships with intention. There are people who nourish your spirit, who listen to you, who bring warmth and clarity to your days. Lean toward them. Allow yourself to be supported, not because you are incapable, but because connection is part of your design. And then, notice the relationships that drain you, the ones that leave you feeling smaller, tense, unseen, or obligated beyond what is healthy. You are not required to shrink to maintain peace. Realignment may require gentle boundaries, not out of anger, but out of wisdom and self-respect. Your time, too, asks for mindful care. You often let the hours slip away to tasks that do not serve your growth or distractions that numb rather than restore. But time is not your enemy. It is your companion. Tend to your hours the way you tend to a garden, slowly, intentionally, choosing what to plant and what to remove. Create small spaces in your day where silence can speak to you, where reflection can settle in, where your heart can check back in with mine. And do not forget your body, the vessel that carries every experience, every emotion, every unspoken thought. Treat it gently. Listen to it. Rest when it whispers for rest. Nourish it when it asks for strength. Move it in ways that help your spirit breathe more freely. Your physical well-being is not separate from your spiritual alignment. It is intertwined with it. As you move through the world, let peace be your internal guide. When something disrupts your calm, pause before reacting. When something aligns with your inner knowing, lean toward it with trust. When a decision needs to be made, choose the option that brings a sense of quiet clarity rather than frantic urgency. Your spirit knows the difference, even when your mind doubts. Alignment does not require dramatic change. It grows through small, consistent choices, tiny openings through which light enters your daily life. You do not need to transform everything at once. Just move in the direction of peace, again and again, until peace becomes not a place you visit, but the place you live from. My child, you are learning to walk with intention, guided from within rather than pulled from without. You are learning to shape your days in a way that honors your unfolding. And as you align externally with what has awakened internally, you will discover strength, clarity, and joy rising quietly, naturally, powerfully, one gentle step at a time. My beloved child, you have journeyed through stillness, clarity, release, and renewal, and now you stand at the place where your heart must choose how it will move forward. Not a pressured choice, not an ultimatum, not a demand, only a sacred invitation to step into the life that has been quietly forming within you. You are not choosing for me. You are choosing for yourself. You are choosing the direction your spirit has been longing to take. You are choosing the version of you that has been rising beneath every struggle, every longing, every whispered hope. This moment is not about dramatic gestures or sudden transformations. It is about the soft but powerful decision to align yourself with what you now know to be true. You have felt the shift inside you. You have sensed the deep exhale of releasing what was now yours to carry. You have tasted the peace that grows when you surrender the noise of fear. You have felt my presence anchoring you. And now, you are being invited to claim what has been unfolding. The choice before you is simple. Will you continue living burdened by the assumptions and fears of the past, or will you walk forward guided by the truth that has awakened inside you? Will you keep shrinking to fit old moments, or will you rise to meet the new ones that are waiting? Will you listen to the echoes of doubt, or will you trust the gentleness of the voice that has been guiding you here? You do not need to know the entire path. You only need to say yes to the direction your heart is being drawn. Yes to clarity. Yes to peace. Yes to alignment. Yes to becoming who you were designed to be. And this yes, my child, is not spoken only once. It becomes a rhythm, a posture, a quiet commitment that guides you day by day. Let this be the moment you choose with intention. The moment you let your inner truth outweigh your inner fear. The moment you step through the threshold instead of standing at the doorway, wondering what might happen if you dared to trust the pull inside you. And now, there are words, declarations, that I invite you to speak within yourself. Not as commands, not as forced affirmations, but as seeds planted in the soil of your renewed heart. Let them settle into you slowly. Let them echo softly. Let them reshape the way you see yourself and the way you move through the world. Declare within yourself, I choose to trust the gentle direction rising inside me. I choose to walk in peace rather than pressure. I choose to honor what I feel, what I sense, and what I know deep within. I choose to release what no longer aligns with who I am becoming. I choose to believe that clarity is finding me, even when I cannot yet see the whole picture. I choose to let go of fear and step into courage, one breath at a time. I choose to move forward with intention, with softness, with strength. I choose to receive what is meant for me. I choose to rise into the fullness of my life. Each declaration is a doorway. Each word is a step. Each quiet yes is a shift in your spirit that ripples outward into your days. Do not underestimate the power of choosing yourself, your peace, your path. You have spent so long thinking that transformation required force. But true transformation begins with willingness, the willingness to honor the truth your heart has been whispering for years. My child, you are not making this choice alone. I am beside you, steady and unwavering. I am walking with you into this new chapter, guiding you with a hand that has never once released you. When you say yes to the direction of your spirit, you say yes to me, and I say yes to you in return, endlessly, faithfully, gently. You are ready. Not because everything is perfect, not because you feel completely confident, but because your spirit is awakening. You are ready because you have arrived at this moment fully, honestly, courageously. You are ready because your heart is open in a way it has not been opened before. So step forward, precious one. Step into the story that is calling your name. Step into the clarity that is rising around you. Step into the version of yourself that has been waiting for this exact moment. Choose the path of light, peace, and inner knowing, and watch how the world within you shifts in response. You are choosing life. You are choosing truth. You are choosing becoming. My beloved child, rest now in the quiet glow of all that has unfolded within you. You have walked through tenderness and truth, through remembrance and release, and now you stand wrapped in a peace that was waiting patiently for your arrival. Let this moment settle into your spirit like a soft evening light touching the horizon. Gentle, steady, unquestioned. You do not need to strive anymore. You do not need to prove anything. Simply breathe and let the stillness become your refuge. What you have received here is not fleeting. It is not fragile. It is not something that will vanish when life becomes noisy again. The clarity you've touched, the peace that has begun to bloom, the strength rising quietly inside you. These are seeds planted deep, and they will grow with every small yes you offer in the days ahead. You are no longer moving through your journey unaware of the support surrounding you. You are walking with intention, with direction, with a heart awakened to its own worth. So I seal this message over you now, with a tenderness shaped entirely for your spirit. God says, please, don't let me down. God has been waiting hours for you to get this. Don't skip this. Let these words no longer feel like an urgent plea, but like a gentle reminder that you are seen, chosen, valued, and guided. You did not skip this. You did not turn away. You arrived. You listened. You opened. And now, precious one, move forward with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they are held. I am with you. I always have been. I always will be.